Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining with us for today's live session. My name is Navya and I'm a clinical psychologist at Seraphy. It is the leading provider for counseling and therapy services. Today we will be going to discuss about autism and the importance of early intervention. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Meenal Jain. She is an occupational therapist. Dr. Meenal Jain has been associated with us and has an extensive professional experience of more than 7 years. From clinical setups to hospitals and to inclusive schoolings, she has worked in all the setups. She is trained in practicing various tools and techniques like sensory integration, NDT, brain gym, play therapy, etc. We would like to hear from all of you. Keep posting your questions and we would like to take up the Q&A session in the end. We won't be discussing in detail what is autism as we have already covered it in our last session. I would request Dr. Meenal Jain to throw some light about what is occupational therapy and what are the key responsibilities occupational therapists play. Over to
Thank you,
you.
Navya. Thank you, Navya, for the introduction. And I'm also thankful to provide me this platform to talk about autism because it's April and we all know it's Autism Awareness Month. And as an occupational therapist, it's my responsibility to spread about awareness about autism as much as I can. So, hello everybody. And the question is right. What is occupational therapy? Because I know most of you doesn't know about what is occupational therapy and what actually we do. So, occupational therapy is a branch of allied health sciences who help people of all ages with physical, sensory, cognitive, and emotional problems. Basically, OT helps them to be independent in all areas of their lives. Here, areas means we are talking about their life at house, their life at workplace, and school, and playground, and social life. So basically, OT helps them to achieve independence in all these areas. Now, as today we are talking about autism and kids, so basically OT helps kids in play, schools, and their daily routine activities. It helps them to be independent according to their age groups and develop skills which are appropriate to their age. So OT helps a kid to develop fine motor skills, gross motor skills, motor planning, self-regulation, and sensory processing. For example, OT helps a kid to develop fine motor skills, which actually help them to develop handwriting later on. Another example, we can talk about coordination. So OT helps them to develop age-appropriate coordination skill, which actually help them to play games like bat and ball with their peer group. Now, another last example I would give about basic life skill. OT helps them and train them to be independent in their basic life skills like brushing, bathing, toileting, so they will be independent later on in their life and not dependent on their parents. Thank you. And
Right. So it was a valuable information as many of us don't know what an occupational therapist plays a major role in our day-to-day life. I would like to now request you that can you please tell the core symptoms of autism from an occupational therapist perspective?
yeah, sure. So, autism is basically a spectrum, and it can be a different for different people. But when we talk about three specific characteristic features of autism, it is related to social difficulties, communication difficulties, and the pattern of restricted behavior, which we call like a sensory hyperactive or sensory hypoactive, which get over to these behaviors. Okay. Now, as an OT, we work with kids with autism on the symptoms like they don't respond on calling by name, they don't communicate with their parents age appropriately. Then they because of the sensory high sensory needs, they are actually lacking in the skills which has to acquire by them by the certain age. So as an therapist, we actually help them to develop those skills.
Okay. So, what is the right age, according to you, to seek an occupational therapy for an autistic child?
So there is no as such right age because when the parent think there is some difficulty, when they start noticing there is some difference between their child and other childs, the other children, so they can start seeking therapies. Because we say as early as we start with therapy, we can help the kid to be independent in their life. That doesn't mean that if the age is like later on you start therapy, it will not help. But the most effective therapy we can provide when the kid started actually learning. That is the earliest age. Because if we talk about technically, that is the age where neuroplasticity is highest. So that is the age where we can work. But later on also, if a kid is taking therapy, they obviously get benefited by that.
Okay, so you mean that early intervention is the right thing to go about it?
Yes, early intervention is right thing to go about it.
Okay.
So if we
I
talk
would,
about, yeah,
okay. So I was going to ask you, like, can you tell us in detail what is the importance of early intervention?
yeah. So basically, early intervention is program which is designed to facilitate child skills at their earliest stage and when the neuroplasticity is at high. Because that is the age when child is started learning and where the skills are at the base level. So when we started, train them for certain skills, they learn early. But if the that age has passed on and child already develops some maladaptive behavior or maladaptive skills, it is really difficult to change those skills and then attain the age appropriate normal skills. So early intervention is a program which is designed to give those therapies at the earliest of the age, and it includes occupational therapy, special education, speech and language therapy, and other therapies like art, music, and all.
Okay, right. So it's like, you are providing an insight to all our participant as well as me that that there is an importance of early intervention. Parents should go and seek early intervention for their child from an occupational therapist as well as from various therapists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of skills the child can develop if he or she seeks occupational therapy?
So before if we talk about what kind of skills they develop, we should talk about what skills they haven't developed. So uh, one should seek therapist guidance or consult pediatrician. So there are some early signs which parents should observe in their child, and if they are not up to the age mark, they should consult the pediatrician. Like a child should smile back by age of 6 months, imitates facial expression by age of 9 months, coos or babbles by age of 12 months, gestures by age of 14 months, start communicate like single words by age of 16 months and two word phrases by 24 months. These are the milestones which is actually important a child should gain by these ages. If child is lacking in these milestones, the one should go to the therapist or the pediatrician to consult. So, as an occupational therapist, when child comes to us, we actually observe the level of their skills, what is there and what should be there, and what are the difference in those skills. Like if a child is coming at age of 2 and he or she is not started matlab, calling their parents by mama and papa. So we observe these things and can relate those things to how much this gap is there and why this gap is there. Is there any sensory needs? Because with autism, there are sensory needs which is aligned with autism. Uh, Child may be hyperreactive or hyporeactive with the sensory inputs he or she is getting in natural environment. And because of these sensory needs, he or she is not able to learn age appropriate skills. So as a therapist, we actually assess what is the sensory needs behind these lack of developing skills, and then we provide sensory integration and sensory processing program and play therapies to the kids so that they can fulfill their sensory needs and start developing these skills.
Right. So,
Yes.
as you mentioned, various developmental milestones. So, if child has
Yes.
attained few milestones but lack in the development of other milestones, do you still suggest that the child should seek some professional help?
Yes, because there is chance. Because as I said, that autism can be different for different people. So there are chances the child started achieving some milestone in early stage of life, but later on he or she started lacking those milestones or other milestone which has to be attained. So if he or she is not attaining further milestone, there is also chances of regression because
Okay,
he is
right.
not attaining those milestones, then the what he has learned till now, that is also gone by some time. So yes, he or she should the parent should consult with therapist because that is what the child require.
Okay, that's a wonderful information you gave us.
Yes.
We would like to ask you, like, what kind of assessments a parent can expect when they come for the therapy session to an occupational therapist?
Okay. So it depends upon how child is coming. If child is already diagnosed, like by pediatrician or by psychologist, so we basically do basic skill test through observation and some tests there are like sensory profile is there so that we can know what is their sensory needs, what is their gross motor skills, what is the level of their fine motor skills and cognitive skills. So the basically this is more like observation based. We let the child play with some structured environment or unstructured environment as per the requirement, and then we observe how he or she is behaving or compliant with the environment, and then we give our result, or we can say our assessment about the child. If child is not pre-diagnosed, like parent is just getting to know that there is some difference, there is some difficulty with their child, then as a therapist we do sensory screening test, which is AMCHET. And through this screening test, we can know if there can be autism or not. Because now with autism, there is like we know there are criteria for every disease. So DSM-5 says that with autism there is hyperactivity or hyporeactivity of sensory input is there. So with that screening test, at least we can know there is autism or not. And later on, we can ask them to go for further tests like CARS or IDOS, which is done by some therapist or psychologist or some developmental pediatrician also.
Okay, so, as you mentioned, like assessment can be done by various therapists,
Yeah.
right? So, in the same way, if a parent is looking forward that there is a delay in the milestone, so what all
Yeah.
treatment options are available right now?
So, if there is developmental delay or if the child is actually having autism, so by far uh, it is really like there is no cure. There is only interventions and therapies which is actually effective to reduce the symptoms and to make the child independent in their life. But there is no as such pure medicine or treatment available till now. There are other therapies also, alternative medicines also, like homeopathical um takes homeopathy. Some of them takes like gluten-free food or casein-free food. But these all are like treatment which are given to the kids. But there is no actually research data on these kind of therapies or treatment that this is actually helpful.
Okay,
So
right.
till now there is only therapies or intervention programs which is available for autism or developmental delay.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, Dr. Minu. So you mean to say that, we can just maintain the symptom of the autism, but there's no particular cure to it.
Yeah, it is something which will remain there with the kid. It will not go anywhere. But with the therapies, we reduce the symptoms and we actually, you know, do work on their skills. So that the skills will develop and the child will be like independent. So whether there is autism, there is sensory needs or not, but they will be independent in their life skills, and they can live as much as normal people, normal kids.
Okay, right. So, as we know that the pandemic situation has emerged and a lot of schools and clinics have been closed. So, do you think that online therapy session is as effective as one-to-one therapy session?
So, yes, like this is the situation where we don't have any options. So, online sessions have their own merits and demerits, and but this is a good platform to go on because, anyways, there are kids who are living like not in cities like NCR or Mumbai or Kolkata. They are living some another cities, and there is no actually therapy setups available. So for them also, it is a good opportunity now to get therapies through online sessions. And yes, we previously also we do these type of session because people can't actually come over to clinic day to day basis. So we give them home program and provide them therapies which we can do at home also, and then we do follow up. So it's something like that, but yeah, it has their own merits and demerits.
Right, that's true. So, everything has its own merits and demerits. So,
Yeah.
we'll go further, like, through the online therapy session, what kind of session a parent can expect?
Okay. Through the online therapy session, first of all, parents' own commitment required because we cannot expect a child to do the therapy by his own by sitting in front of laptop. Therapy session can be as they can done at clinic. It's just the environment is different and the structured environment and there is unstructured environment. So as I say, ki there is merits also because sometimes the kids have can do activities in a structured environment, but when they come into the unstructured environment, they lost. So yes,
Right.
therapy at home will be helpful for them to be in that unstructured environment and be independent in that environment. But again, to start with, to reduce the not exactly reduce, but to give that threshold for sensory needs. Clinics are really important, but at the same time, if we don't have any option, we can't let them go as कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता, because this for child we cannot say tomorrow. It's their time today, then we have to give them therapy today, and they be it online or offline.
Right. So, the parents should seek the therapy session as early as possible.
Yeah.
So, many of the parents अभी घर पे, पैंडेमिक में रहते रहते कहते हैं कि बच्चों के सिम्टम्स ज़्यादा बढ़ गए हैं क्योंकि वो घर पे रहते हैं, या पैंडेमिक की वजह से सिम्टम्स ज़्यादा बढ़ने लग गए हैं, बहुत सिम्टम्स शो कर रहे हैं, बहुत चिड़चिड़े रहने लगते हैं, बात नहीं सुनते, अपने आप को हर्ट करते हैं. So, what's your view about this? Do you think that pandemic might have affected the symptoms or aggravated it?
So, autism is actually the main feature is social difficulties and communication difficulties. And with pandemic, even the kids who are at the age of one or two, who are started developing their social skills, and they are now at home from last 1.5 year, they are also getting difficulties with social skills. So kids with autism, again, it is base of the autism that there is social difficulties, and without the exposure to right kind of social gatherings and peer groups, so again they are getting difficult, and we can say symptoms are getting more, but actually it is because of they are not getting that kind of exposure. So yeah, symptoms are getting more, but we can't say कि kids is having he or she was mild autism before, and now he or she is having severe autism. It can't be like that, but because of not getting right kind of exposure, right kind of sensory play, kids are getting difficult. At even the regular kids, uh, the neurotypical kids are also getting very difficult after living 1.5 year at home only.
Right. So true. So early intervention and right kind of exposure is required in this pandemic time.
Yes.
Especially seeking therapy session would be more effective for the child so that their skills can be developed. So, like, how many therapy sessions a parent can expect, like if a child is having mild to moderate autism symptoms?
So how many sessions we cannot give the number as such, because it's not like a some specific protocol की, like we have in orthopedics. We had to put the 4 or 6 weeks में जुड़ जाएगी. It's not like that. It is different. It's something which is related to neurons and brain. So there is no specific number of sessions and a specific time, but mostly at the early age we advise them to get as many as sessions they can, because again it's a developing age and their mind start developing, so as much as therapy we can provide we should. And later on also it depends upon the severity and the type of symptoms the kid is having, so session number of sessions depend upon them.
Right. So the involvement of both the parent during this therapy session is required, right?
Involvement of both the parent, you can say, but yeah, involvement of parent required during the sessions. Uh, and sometimes actually it more related to one-to-one session with therapist and the kid, because a kid may do or may not do in front of the mother or a father, but he has to learn, or the kid has to learn doing the tasks and activities in front of, you can say, stranger, or in another environment where his where the kid's parent was is not there. So yes. both way it is there.
Right. In the last, I would request you to throw some light regarding the parental guidance with autistic symptom child.
So my guidance to parent is again the same. Many things can wait, but the child cannot. If he is developing, his bones are developing, his mind is developing. So it's today is for him, not tomorrow. So when parents started thinking about that, yes, their child is having some issues, some problems, uh, they should go to the proper pediatric. मतलब they should go for proper consultation basically because sometimes parents think that बच्चा है अभी तो सीख जाएगा. Sometimes they are in denial. Sometimes they think about society. Sometimes there is lack of awareness and lack of awareness of early sign and symptoms. But we should be more aware about our kid and the developing age or he or she is, and which we should take a step accordingly. It just took one step forward and maybe 30 to 45 minutes session to get a consultation from occupational therapist or a relevant therapist, which can actually impact your kid's future. So yeah, early intervention is important for both child and parent. So as soon as you start, it is more effective.
Right. Thank you for spreading the awareness among us and among the parents. So we'll take a few sessions have come up from the participants. So the first question is like, how long an OT session last?
How long? How long means one session? One session is there are like 30 to 45 minutes session. Mostly 45 minute sessions we say, but it is also depend upon the kid. It can be 30 minutes if child is at like not complying much. So we start with 30-minute session and we get it up to 45-minute session. Mostly sessions are 45 minutes because more than that child brain started getting tired, so we can't
Right.
give him more and more after that.
That's true. There's one more question. It has been asked from a parent. My child is of 5 years and he has lot of head and back body shaking issues and also holding problems. How can I take care of that?
So see, the question is, I don't know, there is some information missing. So I would say this needs to be assessed more in more deeply. Why he is shaking head and back? There is sensitivity. There can be a, strength issue. There can be another issues. So we need to assess those. And the holding problem, if the parent being by that he or she is not hold the things properly, then what is his age? Like it's 5 year age, he should hold things. So you should start with therapy. That is which is required right now.
Right. That's so true. A therapy is required. So we'll move forward to the next question. That is, do you think that the lockdown and COVID is effective children and parents?
So yes, obviously they are. Lockdown is uh, getting more and more getting toll on our mental and physical health. Obviously, so for kids also it is difficult time. The time when they should play with their peer group, they should start mingling with their peer group, and this time is going. So yes, it is effective in some way. So as a parent, we should take this time as a positive, and we should more engage more with our kids rather than phone or TV. We should start playing with them.
Right. So we'll move forward to the another question, Dr. Meera, that is, can autism be cured?
So, as I said before, it is not something which can be cured. The intervention and therapies are mainly to reduce the symptoms and make them independent, not getting cured. It is something if we, for example, if someone is having diabetes, so
Mm.
the diabetes here, she is having those medicines in all through the life. So it
Right.
can't be cured, but they are getting medicine. So autism can't be cured, but they are getting therapies to live their life as independent as they can.
Right. So as rightly you said that it can be maintained, the symptoms can be maintained and the person can still function in a
Yes,
day-to-day life, but needs therapy sessions to do like that.
yes.
So we have another question that is he's the same question the mother has answered. He's having so
Okay.
much holding problem, he cannot hold the pencil properly. Because of that, he's getting a lot of problem in getting admission in school.
So again, if he is not holding a pencil at the age of 5, this can't. This can be. He is having hyper reactive to tactile. Maybe he is not liking any kind of touch. So, as a therapist, we can see what kind of difficulties are there, and according to that, we can modify the pencil. Then again, there can be a strength issue. If the fingers and muscles are not strengthened as per his age, so he is not able to hold the pencil. Then we have to work on the strength of the hand. So as I'm saying, he just giving the symptom is not getting the right answer. To get the right
Right.
answer, one should get to the therapist and get consult, get assessed. Then only you can get the right answer and get the right treatment.
Right. So one should go to the therapist to seek better answer and better response according to what the child is lacking.
Yes, because there can be n number of reasons behind the one problem. So what is the exact reason we need to work on that? We can't force a kid to hold a pencil.
Right. That's true. So, uh, okay, okay. So she's thanking you, Dr. Meena. And
Okay.
these were the questions we had so far. So, well, that's all we have got for today. We feel fortunate to have Dr. Meenal Jain with us for today's Instagram live session. Thank you for enlightening us through your knowledge and expertise. Thank you everyone for joining Seraphie. We appreciate for your signing and hope you learned from this particular session. Before we sign off, I would like to tell everyone that please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to us via mail if you have interest to know more about it. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us. And if you want to seek professional help from Dr. Meenal Jain, DM us or contact us on 84011600302. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Meenal Jain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Navya.
Thank you.